I thought a couple times that maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I just, it's hard to leave the office. But now I'm thinking, what would have happened if I didn't come and show up and participate? And I just loved it here.
One of my biggest takeaways was the team model, your four quadrants, and really how to allow the loan officers to focus on what they're best at, originating loans, and actually build our company around your platform in order to make them more productive and make us all more profitable, which is pretty amazing. And I always had that idea but never really knew how to implement or had the tools. Now I know I'm leaving here with those tools and pretty fired up to do that and to be a manager more so than ever.
The biggest thing is I realize that if I ever want to get to where I want to be, then I've got to get back to getting good systems in place, refining those systems, making them repeatable, and being persistent and consistent about making sure they stay in place and make sure all my people are plugged into it.
I came and learned what you had to teach was that we are missing the human element in that equation. We're not connecting with our people. We're more connected to our application than we are to our people. And that's a serious problem, obviously. So as Corey and I have thought about what we need to do to change that, to shift that, we've figured that the marketing, not necessarily marketing, but the training, the loan officer training and the management building has now got to be a key element in the development of our business.
How we grew was one through companies we felt were potentially on the brink, and we would form a relationship with someone key in that organization. So when it did fail, we were there. In addition, we've fostered a tremendous relationship with lender account executives. They hold Springwater pretty high, and they have wanted to put people through our company because of the technology we've done with lenders. But I'll tell you right now, with the purchase market, the relationship should come with those who are with realtors. And being one who was anti-realtor in the past, it's got to change.
I attended the program because after running my own net branch for 5 years and never really going out there with any type of recruiting strategy or trying to recruit, I realized that in order to build a great branch with great culture and great loan officers, I needed a little bit more, and was really intrigued by your offering with this conference and getting together with not just you and your strategies, but also hearing from a dozen other great leaders here in our industry. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing because it was a diverse group of people who were wide open, sharing what their struggles were, what their victories were, what their big takeaways were, how they're going to implement things going forward. And I think that it's invaluable to not only hear from live people what's worked and what hasn't worked, but then also now over the next year with you and with them, kind of keeping in touch with the other to see how it unfolds.
Ron, you actually fixed my quandary I've had with my role as a producing manager. I was always in that paradox of what my role really is, and you kind of helped me, because now first thing I'm going to do is change my cards when I get back. Instead of branch manager, is going to see business development coach, because that's really what my role is, and it's what I really like to do. And I wasn't quite sure how to do it, and now with all the material you just gave us, holy cow, I got a lot of information that's going to help me out. So I'm really excited about going and implementing it.
For me, I feel that I was maybe getting into cruise control a bit with my business. Nothing catastrophic, but going one speed, and just learning all this information and knowing how much more I could be doing to strengthen myself, with whether it's scheduling, organizing, the strategies that I'm using, things that my team can be doing to leverage me more, and also things I can be doing with other members of my team to leverage my business so I can develop the right culture. There's no one thing I can say I took away. I took away a ton of stuff, and I can't wait to review the notes.
And the material you gave us could last a year. I mean, it was just idea after idea after idea. And so I really liked that. And the other managers, to be able to pick their brains and see, how, even though some of them had a different model than me, some of them purposely wanted to stay small, some of them wanted to do this, some of them wanted to do that. it was great to pick their brains and talk and know that we're kind of all in doing the same thing, and there's positive people out there still in the mortgage business.
That the material's great, and it actually is put together in a very organized, systematic way. And I mean, the book, you can take that back, and I'm sure with all the supporting documentation and the videos and things that you're going to send us, I mean, we basically got a whole library right there, a training library to put right there in our office for our people for, you know, from this time forward.
I'm good at maintaining and motivating, but not bringing in new LOs. And I finally figured out why. It's because I didn't have a plan, and I didn't know our purpose, because I didn't know what I was offering them. Now with all the content you gave me, I'll have a lot more to put together in a system to offer new LOs to better their lives and better their profession.
Certainly, one of my big takeaways was your team model that you introduced, and how to actually provide more for your loan officer by building their team for them, putting the infrastructure in place for them so that all they can do is what they're really good at, just originate loans.
You can't go to programs like this and not get at least the cost paid for, because you're going to close more business. So it's essentially free no matter what, and that's within the first 30 minutes of being here.
The best part out of this thing is actually we were here with 10 or 11 great industry leaders, and it's relationships you developed. I got a lot of great ideas.
I think the way that the concepts were broken down in these digestible and understandable components, so this idea of teaching one piece of the puzzle at a time, so the quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4 type of model.
Well, the goals and aspirations are easy. You want I want to build something up. I want to expand it. I'd like to move it into a few other markets within Kentucky and maybe southern Indiana and Indianapolis down. And the goal would be at some point in time, the opportunity arises to sell it off and then maybe step back and be some other, take some other role in the company, but not have to work so hard.
Now I have some defined things that I want to do, implement quickly. I have some short-term stuff. I have some long-term stuff. I've made some commitments to myself.
My number one, when we get back, is to begin that training process and accountability. Training and accountability.
Outstanding.
Every one of our employees across the board, training and accountability.
It's an awakening for us. Just as Derek said, we've got to completely revamp our current model. We have been very successful in doing exactly what we plan to do, but we've taken out the human element of the company. So whether we change that same model with the current LOs that we have, that may be difficult, but like Derek said, we're able to bring in people, and it may be that we redo the way that we bring people in. New accountability, new responsibilities, some individual managers per groups.
But yeah, the bottom line is I think anyone who is a manager, whether you're a producing branch manager, big branch, little branch, companies of all sizes, we're all represented here. I would wholeheartedly recommend that you come in here.
Oh, I greatly appreciate this. I love these types of forums. I did them a lot in the past. We have not done this at all since we've been in this new industry. And I think you should continue to do this, and we'd like to be part of any CEO roundtable that you have. So.